In the near future, scientists create a drug that allows you to experience any sensations and memories lasting a day or a year, as long as a few seconds pass in the real world. But later, this technology begins to be used as a means of serving punishment, and people can be placed in a virtual space even for a millennium, while in the real world only a couple of minutes will pass. The girl offers her companion another swim in the ocean. They enjoy the beauty of the underwater world, as suddenly the girl finds herself at home and black liquid flows out of her eye. There are tubes of the same black liquid scattered around her. Ren Amari goes to his brother Jared, who has been in a coma for 4 years after an accident on the beach. Ren uses the drug on her brother, but not getting the desired result, goes to work. The girl is a leading researcher at a technology company she founded with entrepreneur Sam. Using nanotechnology, Ren invents a biological form of virtual reality called OtherLife that can create realistic memories. The brain uses billions of neurons every second, and Ren and her team program them to work in the right way. The program connects fragments of knowledge and creates new memories. The drug OtherLife tells the story of one day where everything goes the way the test subject wants it to. The effect of the drug lasts for 8 seconds of real time, but with prolonged use, the drug can negatively affect health and lead to epilepsy and even brain death. Engineer Byron Finbar calls Ren over to his place to test new samples. One day the girl skydives. The second day she climbs rocks, enjoying the beautiful view of the simulation. The third sample is called a little snow adventure. Ren finds herself in a cabin surrounded by snowy mountains. She enjoys snowboarding all day as she suddenly appears at the starting point in the lodge. A second, third day passes, but there is no way Ren can leave the virtual world, while in the real one her body begins to shake. The environment begins to deform, and the girl sitting on her knees calms herself by saying that the environment is just a code, as she suddenly returns to reality. Ren has been there for 6 days, however, a couple seconds later, as if nothing had happened, she asks Byron to send her a sample to fix it. The girl goes to see her business partner, Sam, who is presenting the product to potential investors. Sam tells them that his development is not going to stop at one day. The training, the therapy, the years of experience will be downloaded into the brain like an application on a computer. Ren is very angry after hearing this information and warns his partner about the dangers of multi-day stays in virtual reality. There are only 5 days left till the end of the product release, so the girl, working till night, checks new samples and fixes the unfinished ones, refusing to spend time with her boyfriend Danny. Later, the man brings her the documents of the long-stay project in the simulation to be finalized. Ren notices that Byron has been working with these reports and asks him not to work on the project behind her back. The girl is left alone and secretly produces a drug that she uses on her brother. Ren notices that Jared's eye has twitched, much to the girl's delight. When she gets home, she sits down to work again, when suddenly she gets a video message from Danny and Byron on her phone, reminding her to take a vacation. Before she can respond, she receives a text from her father asking for her consent to disconnect Jared from the life support machine. She arrives at the university to see her father and is surprised that the man who developed the OtherLife drug has abandoned his project, any research, and an attempt to save his son. The man reminds his daughter that the human brain is not a 2-digit code, and any change in a person's mind will do no good. Ren does not give her consent to disconnect her brother, but her father assures her that he can do it without his daughter's participation. And in fact, he was just hoping for support. The girl returns to work and learns from her coworker Cass that the company has declared a quarantine and restricted everyone's access to development. Ren tries to find out from Sam what's going on. Together with Byron, Sam discovers that twice as much of the drug has been spent as reported in the reports. The girl refuses to talk about where she put half of the drug. The partner recalls investors, including a man from the Department of Execution and Punishment. He's willing to sponsor the company in exchange for a prison simulation. A criminal would be able to serve a multi-year sentence in just a few minutes. Ren is adamantly opposed to this and goes to the street. There she meets Danny and they go to his house together. After intimacy, the girl shows a working version of a small snow adventure. The man likes the drug so much that without getting consent he takes the tube and buries it in his eyes. Ren notices the guy starting to shake. She calls an ambulance, but it's too late. In the interrogation room, along with Ren, Sam, and the lawyer comes the potential investor from the Ministry of Execution and Punishment. The girl is given a condition: either she agrees to the virtual prison project, or she will be accused of Danny's murder and go to prison for 10 years. Sam asks her to accept the offer, hinting that this is how she can redeem herself to Danny. Later, in front of the entire staff, she is brought into the testing room, and it is revealed that Byron has already created a prison simulation behind her back. The engineer tells her about his design. It's a confined room that will have food, hygiene products that are renewed every day. The duration of the test subject's stay is 1 year, which is 1 minute of real time. Ren asks Byron if he remembered to check the code, as he often has trouble with the exit mechanism. She also reminds him of the drug that brings a person out of the simulation. It must be injected into the base of the skull. After hearing everything, Byron drops the liquid on her retina, and the girl finds herself in a room. In front of her lies a clipboard and a bedpan. Across from her is an LED screen that displays the day's report. Looking around the room, Ren opens a drawer and sees her daily ration and personal hygiene product. To keep from going insane, the prisoner begins to exercise, eating tuna and crackers and recording her thoughts in a tablet. After realizing that no one will read these notes, she gets angry and throws the device at the wall. The room begins to turn red, which means a day has passed. Ren is overcome with memories of the accidents that happened to Danny and Jared. She grabs the floor grate and squeezes it until it bleeds, not wanting to give up on the idea of saving her brother. The girl writes down in a clipboard the stories of people coming out of comas, the principles and causes of possible brain changes. The days pass one by one, and here comes day 365. Shaking with the thought that she has only 1 day left, she does not take her eyes off the screen and waits for the exit from the simulation. A red light comes on and the screen shows the first day. Furious, she begins to break everything she can get her hands on, and suddenly she feels the wind blow against her. Tearing off a panel from a supply closet, she suddenly finds a way out. Once outside, she finds herself in some sort of hangar with her camera in the center of it. She finds a warehouse with her daily supplies, and a room with CCTV cameras recording her confinement throughout the year. Ren manages to grab the security guard's belongings and escapes in his car. She visits her brother, her place of work, which is deserted, and comes to the police, where she is informed that she was a missing person. Together with the police officers, the girl arrives at the hangar, but all that is left of her cell are pipes sticking out of the ground. The girl goes home, but the man at the front desk informs her that others are already living in her apartment, and all her belongings have been taken by people from the company. Suddenly, she sees Sam, who promises to tell and explain everything to her. But the girl is not going to believe him and runs away. Ren goes to her colleague Cass. The girl learns that all the employees have been told that she had a fight with Sam, just took her things and went to live in Italy. In the course of the conversation, it is revealed that Danny is still alive. Later, at a coffee shop, Ren explains about where she's really been for the past year and the craziness that's been happening to her. The man tells her that the company has been a great success and is used for a wide range of applications, including long-term imprisonment stretching back centuries. Her friends ask the girl to just leave and forget about the trials, the company, and the drugs. But the girl refuses the idea, telling the real reason for her work with Sam. It's an opportunity to save her brother. 5 years ago, Jareth unsuccessfully hit his head on a rock and fell into a coma. Ren's dream is to bring him back to consciousness to bring his family back. Hearing the story, Cass and Danny decide to help. They infiltrate the company building and break into Byron's office. Finding his hard disk with all her work, because of which Ren was imprisoned in a cell, the pair escapes, not forgetting to punch the engineer in the face. Byron manages to report what happened, and Cass is grabbed in front of Ren and Danny. The pair go to Ren's father's house, where there is a printer to create the drug. The girl sits down at the computer and starts writing the code of the program. In the morning, she is awakened by Danny, and the girl apologizes for what happened and for the difficult relationship with someone like her. After intimacy, they hear the father enter the house. It turns out that it was he who informed the police about his daughter's disappearance. Sam called him, and from the conversation his father knew right away that something was wrong. He hugged his daughter and all three of them went to the printer. Ren talks about his development, the perfect beach vacation. Danny took it and drowned. The program throws a person into the ocean, giving the test subject a chance to make it to land on their own. This is exactly what she wants to give Jared, so that he can have the experience again and be able to get out and come out of the coma. Ren unseals the liquid she finished coding the night before. She arrives at the hospital and uses it on Jared. The man swims out of the ocean and opens his eyes in reality. The girl is happy that the drug worked. However, a minute later, Jareth rolls his eyes and begins to shake. Watching the convulsions and torment of her brother, Ren decides to disconnect the life support machine, and Jareth dies. The girl sits beside her brother's body as she suddenly wakes up. She immediately hits Sam and with all her might throws the laptop on the floor. After thinking over everything that has happened to her during this time, Ren informs Sam that she is leaving the company, leaving the patent for the drug to herself. She glosses over her escape from the cell and leaves the office. After Danny's funeral, she calls her father and agrees to disconnect her brother from the machine. Later, Sam calls her and convinces her to come to the office. Together with Byron, they manage to find out that the girl was able to escape from the cell after all. Excited by this news, the man asks to make a drug that gives an interactive experience. Ren is adamantly opposed to this, as she's been through this before, so the man tricks her into pouring the liquid into her eye, hoping it will cause disruptions again, and allow them to learn how to develop the interactive experience on their own. Byron reluctantly agrees to it. Sam says it's the only way to get Ren to help. The girl finds herself imprisoned again. After calming down, she sits on the floor and applies the knowledge she learned during the last test. The system starts to malfunction and the girl gets out in reality. She throws Sam on the floor and smears the remnants of the drug on the man's eye. An error occurs in the program, putting Sam's life at risk, but Ren can't let Sam escape until he's served the full 365 days, and waits until a few more days have passed inside the simulation before injecting him with the drug. The girl sees that an already former co-worker has experienced all the suffering of another life. Later, she and her father see Jared off on his last journey before heading to the beach. What it is like to relive a month, a few months, a year, or even a few years in 1 minute. To go through thoughts, regrets, resentments, self-torture, and suddenly find that it's really only been a minute. Thanks for watching and write in the comments what you think about it.